Welcome to Talking Baseball. My name is Zachary, and I'm asking famous person Ubi about his relationship experiences with his apparent duel. So I just found out that he's been with an ESFJ for 3 years. Is that right?
Yeah, a little more than that now.
Um, how is
Yeah,
it
I mean,
in general?
I mean, it definitely has had its ups and downs, but in the long run, it's been like awesome. I don't like there were of course communication differences for sure, but I don't think anything's made me grow more as a person because we're so different. Like, to make something work, you have to really learn how to communicate, and for us to work, we had to really learn how to communicate. So it took a lot of getting out of your box, like getting out of your way of speaking to people and everything,
How weak do you think your FE was when you first? Well, first of all, how did you first meet them?
I met her at a friend's house. She was just, she came over. I had known about her existence, like, way back in high school, but we never talked, never, like, and I met her, shit, I was out of high school for like 3 or 4 years by that point I met her. And, yeah, I just met her at a friend's house, and I immediately started talking to her, and I could tell she was into me, and she got really shy and stuff, so I just, like, flirted a lot, and, got her number, and she also played video games, so we played some video games together actually, and that's how we got talking a lot more. Is the whole like first 2 to 4 weeks of us getting to know each other, we were on the mic playing video games together, and as we were playing, we would just be talking the whole time, and then yeah.
What games did you guys play? What did you bond over?
Back then I was playing a game called Smite. It's a MOBA.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Was there any,
mean,
like, who did most of the talking? Like, who directed it mainly? The ESFJ?
Uh, no, I mean, we both talked a lot. I mean, we both talked about stuff. That was something too. Like, we came from very different religious backgrounds. Like, she was raised really Christian, which after she's not Christian anymore. But when we first started dating, she identified with that, and we just came from really different backgrounds, so we had a lot to talk about. And she definitely would get like, that was one of the barriers we had to get through, was just being able to discuss things that were like sensitive to her, like religion, like a kind of a big, maybe a TI topic, or not just TI topic, but I would come at it with TI, and she's really sensitive to TI, so like I had to really learn to temper my TI with FE, like talking to her, I had to really, instead of maybe being so direct, like take a few extra branches to get to the point and soften it up.
You feel like, does it feel exhausting, or did you not mind doing it?
No, I mean, it was exhausting at times, but I mean, if you really like love somebody, you work at it. And like, I mean, at the beginning, I can't say like I loved her, of course. We had really good. What I can say right off the bat is we had insanely good physical chemistry. So like, it was just like when we hung out together and
Yeah, I agree
every
about
other way.
perfect.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing. And so the thing that we had to work on more than anything was I guess our mental chemistry, or just the way that we communicated, the way that we talked about ideas. And we still have, certain things that we work on, but both of us, her and I, have changed like tremendously since we started dating. I mean, we're both so much more mature, and like I've never met another ESFJ like her, because I feel like being in a relationship with me, not saying like I taught her, I'm just saying because of our struggles, it helped both of us grow so much. Like,
So, are you considering having sexual intercourse with her? I think it might be time to make that next move.
yeah, I've had no problems with that. We had sex like, no, we had sex like the first week we met, so that wasn't an issue.
Um, Do you, I lost my fucking question.
I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed about our relationship is like probably our biggest hurdle that I notice with dating an ESFJ for me is her use of NI, like her, or I guess I could say her lack of you. Like the problem with an ESFJ, I think, or at least with my relationship, is she tends to get stuck on one perspective, like so. You know, and it is the only perspective. It's the only possible way you can look at something, which that was where a lot of our fights came from. You know, she would say something, and I'd be like, well, wait, can't you look at it this way, or this way, or this way, or this way? And like, you know, and we would battle over that.
But they don't have it conscious. They don't have NI conscious though. So are you saying it's because NI's in the 7th slot? That would make sense.
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, cool. Just
I
verifying.
think ESFJs get locked into a perspective of things, and they can't see outside of it, like at all.
And when they pull out their sword of TI, it doesn't cut through anything.
No, their TI is pretty garbage. But well, I say that, but at the same time, it's not. It's garbage when they use it as like a defense mechanism, or impulsively, or like things like that. But if you really
to make decisions.
Yeah, but ESFJs, I think, get a really bad rap because she's incredibly intelligent. Maybe not the same exact intelligence as, like, you know, if an INTP is going to judge an ESFJ on the exact way he thinks, then yeah, you're gonna judge the shit out of them. Like,
no, you're
really
right.
Talk to them,
she spent 9 years outsmarting me about everything. So I mean, the fact they have bad TI doesn't mean they aren't kicking your ass constantly if they wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, they're very effective.
The thing that amazes me is her. She has such keen observational skills. Like, it's insane. The way that she watches people and the system. She builds a system of a person. Like, I build systems of ideas and theories and models and things like that. She watches people and can tell you every tiny little behavior that person has, and like the mannerisms they make, and like it's just like, and she gains a lot of knowledge that way. That's how they're so good at manipulating people or comforting people, not just in a negative way, or like really knowing how to talk to someone in a comforting way, is because they really get to know you. Like, they watch you kind of almost to a scary point of like watching you.
Was that uncomfortable to you?
No, like, I mean, at times it has been, but at the same time, I mean, I've learned a lot. You know, she's pointed out stuff that I've learned from. She's also pointed out things that I don't agree with, and
they're subtle. They don't. You don't necessarily know what they're doing with you. They're not subtle in shit. Some shit you're just like, oh my god, that's the clumsiest fucking attempt at analysis I've ever seen of some abstract shit. But and then in the next breath you find yourself doing this thing. How did I get tricked into doing this thing again? How did that happen? You know, it's like that kind of a thing.
Yeah. There's just weird.
Go on.
Good.
MJ said ESFJs and ENFJs are lie detectors. I would say ISFJs are lie detectors as well.
Yeah.
At least the one I know.
I think her and I in particular are really good at detecting each other's lies. I mean, she can't lie to me either. I mean, but
it's hard for an ESFJ to lie.
One more thing. Yeah.
Because here's why. They don't understand they're lying. They're expressing their strong feelings. They're expressing their strong feelings about something.
Yeah, you make a good point. I think they sometimes, in ESFJ, it might be the TI in the 4th slot, but at least they're disconnected from their true thought, or the source of where their thoughts came from. Like, they can't track it. They can't, like, if you ask, why did you do that? Or like, what, like, most of the time they can't tell you unless you really you have to like dig through all their functions to finally get to like, they'll be like, oh, okay, like yeah, and they'll realize it themselves, like, oh, I did do that.
It's because they're tools SI.
But
Well, what do you mean? Why did I do it? Because that's what my data set tells me I do in that situation. You know, but they can't tell you that. That's too complicated to tell you. They just they shift away from any like resolution. I would call an ESFJ and NTP in conflict. You have a situation where an NTP is trying to fix things, and the SFJ is trying to admire problems until they become massive and can't be avoided. Do you find problem admiration an issue?
I want to get off the negativity, because they're also like, there's also so many amazing things about that type.
Ubi, it is not negative. It's a statement of one of their aspects.
I was saying, I got you. I was setting up to start a different branch. Sorry, but you were continuing yours.
I wasn't. No, now we're on a different branch. We're on a branch of negativity, positivity. What counts as negative? What counts as positive?
Okay, well, let's not go down that branch, because we both don't think that. Let's not go down that branch.
I probably do think that.
Just stop it now.
But fine, let's not go down that branch. Okay, my bad. We're gonna smoke bowls over there and leave you alone.
All I want to say, I know this video is probably getting a little long. One thing that I do like about ESFJs is I can share, at least with my ESFJ, I can share my deepest vulnerabilities or thoughts about myself, or anything, thoughts about a situation, and she never she doesn't feel the need to come. A lot of the time with NTs, I think, or something, you kind of want to you really explain how they should go about fixing the problem, maybe, or she more so tries to comfort and let me think out my process myself, and but she's a very good comforter, and she's just there to, she genuinely fucking cares, genuinely cares about your inner world problems or your outer world problems, and in any way that they can accommodate that and help you. And they know they lack that TI. They know they might not be able to help you in the way that they can tell you exactly how to fix the problem or exactly how to understand it. But they truly want to help you in the way that they know how. And I respect that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what kind of problems do you help her with?
I think in general, just thinking things out a little further. It's just the general rule. Just, sometimes I think she'll jump to a conclusion a little bit fast, a kind of an inferior judgment.
Like bad
judges too soon. Yeah, judges too soon, or gets locked into a perspective too soon. So I just try to offer different perspectives for her to take a look at. And she does, when they're not defensive, they will look at different perspectives. And they actually are good at it. That tertiary NE, they actually are good at it. It's just kind of, they're defensive about it, just like with anybody, I think we're kind of usually defensive about our tertiary a little bit sometimes.
Tertiary is...
Anyways.
The third stuff? Or?
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah. Do you feel like your FE has been developed more so than when you first met her?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it was necessary. I mean, it had to be for us to communicate effectively. I realized things about myself. There was too much TI. It was too much. And a lot of the time in the back of an INTP's head, you really do wish, I wish I could feel a little more, or be a little bit more, I don't know, I think a lot of INTPs think about that sometimes in the back of their head, and I did it. I've become so much more socially adept and just more gentle. And that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, you know? It's not bad to be, like, become a lot more vulnerable, gentle, soft, patient, all those things. Those are all good qualities.
Yeah, in all seriousness, you actually seem like an extremely developed INTP. You and I run afoul a lot because you're utilizing all these skills your ESFJ wife taught you about making peace and harmony, but you don't understand the spectacular harmony, the post-harmony harmonizing that occurs with brutal combat.
No, dude, I love conflict. I have no problem with conflict.
Well, then maybe you should stop avoiding it. Thanks for watching Talking with Famous People.